Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of I Am Legion for Dying Light 1 and 2. My name is Jason, the creator, and I have another quick update for you guys. I want to release what is in store for you guys with the latest version, which is 1.3b. So I have put in a little bit more time. I'm working on Dying Light 1 right now, and so I wanted to get out another quick update for you guys. We had a hotfix drop today. It broke some things, so I wanted to get out an update earlier, and then I had some great ideas that I wanted to get out to you guys, and so here is the latest version, and let me show you guys what we're working with. So I've been wanting to do this for a little while. Slowly but surely, weapons are starting to enter the world. A lot of people are excited for some of the upcoming firearms, and so I wanted to jump ahead and start creating some of the weapons that I've had laid out in my head for a while. And so here tonight, I'm happy to announce that we have the release of the tactical crossbows that are now going to be found inside the world. So these can be found inside of dark zones, on certain bosses, and throughout the world, kind of scattered, but also at the traders, also at the custom trader for the mod. And if you're a Patreon supporter, you'll have instant access to all the crossbows. So please make sure to give me your feedback so we can refine those as we go. But let me go ahead and show you guys what those look like. So we're going to go ahead and assume that you are an Ultimate Survivor Patreon. And what that will look like is if we head over to our extras, we should now have the crossbow bundle. And when you unlock that, you can actually see we have quite a few different crossbows here. So let me go ahead and show you guys what each one does, and we can kind of briefly talk about what the approach is, and then let's make sure to grab our ammo. There is also shotguns on the way. I did not get a chance to finish, but I have been working on a shotgun concept as well. It's working somewhat, but I just didn't get enough time tonight to get that out to you guys. So shotguns are on the way soon, and some more stuff coming soon as well. But I'm going to try to switch back over to Dying Light 1. I've got some awesome upgrades. I've got a big overhaul coming for Dying Light 1. I know there's a huge fan base still playing Dying Light 1 every day, so that one will be coming out next, but I wanted to give you guys something to play with in the meantime. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So what we have is the standard PK crossbow that still unlocks inside the normal gameplay, but I've added a couple of legendary to standard crossbows across the world. So you should encounter this first crossbow, which is going to be your basic weak crossbow. And the idea here is that I'm doing something kind of similar to what I set up for the flamethrowers, which is that as you continue to play the game, you'll continue to find better crossbows. I'm also looking into, so with the flamethrower, I set it up to where you could upgrade your crossbow and try to like continuously improve your crossbow. Flamethrower. So I'm gonna do something similar for the crossbows. I still am looking for that initial feedback and continue to refine that. So this first initial version does not come with the ability to mod them and to upgrade them, but that should be coming soon. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one, which is the basic weak crossbow. And basically the idea here is that you'll have your basic crossbow at a higher level. You'll be able to aim down the sight there, and this sucker packs quite the punch. But the basic crossbow only has 3 rounds that it can hold in the chamber, and if you look in the bottom left, you can actually see that it takes a good amount of the conditioning off when you fire the weapon. So the idea is that as you're finding these around the world, they will break often, and so you have these as kind of strategic tools that you would use during specific quests, and then you're going to always want to try to upgrade these and get these out upgraded to a better version. And so actually before I release, I'm going to actually take a step back, and I think I am going to add the ability to upgrade the basic version, that weak version, into the standard crossbow. I'm going to give it a shot. A lot of people have reported that that system didn't quite work with flamethrowers, but that's one of those things that the lower weak version, unless you can find a lot of them, it starts to break pretty often. But the hope is that you'll find this higher tier. So the next tier that we're going to have is the basic crossbow. So the basic crossbow will allow you to fire a little bit faster, have a little bit less jerk, but it will still have more than the standard PK crossbow, which is considered more of a legendary tier weapon. This is going to be your day-to-day crossbow, and what is going to be more common inside the world, and what you can expect to use as you complete each quest and as you're trying to take out large volumes of enemies. So as you continue to play with this, this will upgrade, the damage will upgrade based on your level. So as you level up, this weapon will as well. And so this should stay relevant as you continue to play through the game. Next from here, you'll upgrade to the reinforced crossbow. Basically what that does is it gets rid of some of that additional kick. It still has a decent amount of kick, but it's a lot less compared to the basic crossbow. So again, as you're finding these around the world, you will be able to actually go in here and use this one without the condition dropping as fast. You can see that this one will still break, but you can get out quite a few rounds before you actually have to worry about it. Now moving on to the legendary and the higher tier weapons. So one of my favorite things is that we now have the automated crossbow, or the automatic crossbow. So the idea here is that if we do have to wait for rifles for a little while, how is the world surviving with this number of zombies? Well, they're stepping it up a notch and actually taking things to the automatic level. So let's go ahead and head down to the street view and see what that looks like. So for the first crossbow, you get a decent amount of automatic fire, and you can see here that it does a great job of taking out the enemies. There's still a little bit of that auto aim, so I've learned recently that if you go inside your options and then over to your control setting, that there is apparently an auto aim in here. I have not actually done this yet, so maybe I should have looked at this first before bringing this up, but apparently auto aim can be found in here in the settings, and apparently you can turn that off. That was a big one for me because the auto aim in the game is really just way too damn high. So I'm gonna have to reach out to my friends on the Discord to try to find out where they said that this was located, because I don't see it still, but apparently it is in here. Maybe it's only for controllers. But the idea here is that as you're traveling the world, you should be able to pick up these bolts, and this will help you clear off the streets a little bit better than you were able to before. Next, we have the Type B prototype automatic crossbow, which this is an unreleased crossbow that can be found in the world now. And this one packs quite a bit more punch, and the fire rate is much higher. So if you're really wanting to get out of a jam and actually be able to take out a good volume of enemies, this prototype crossbow is the way to go. Let me see if I can find some additional bolts. If not, we'll head back up. Currently, there is a bugged animation, as you just saw. So what I've done is I've set this up to where it is much less likely to reload because you can have a higher level clip. That was to make up for the fact that it does have a rather awkward reload. So it will at least have an initial one-time reload where it will chamber the ammo, and then this may occasionally fire. I do apologize for the animation. I wasted way too much time trying to find alternative animations that would work a little bit better, but there's not currently one in the game that suits that crossbow, this new crossbow type inside the game. So, you know, until I figure out a way to actually go and write these things myself, that's not currently going to happen. So in addition, I'm actually really happy to see that show up. So let's go ahead and grab another crossbow bundle, and we'll grab some more ammo here. And I'll show you the last but not least, which is going to be the assassin crossbow. So the assassin crossbow is the legendary tier crossbow, and you can find this in the higher tier legendary gear and then randomly throughout the world. It does have a much less likely chance to spawn, and I'm still working this into story elements as well. But the idea here is that this is not an automatic crossbow, but the gains here is that you get much better accuracy, that it has much less jerk, and it can do much more damage from afar. So as you're going through the world and trying to take out long range targets, this is going to be great for taking out those targets from a ways and not having to worry about the enemy being able to catch up to you. So if you're looking for some sniper action, this is going to be your go-to for now until I continue to figure out how to get more weapons inside this game. As you can see, you can still get a decent number of bolts pumped out here. So if you see here, we can actually get a good amount of bolts fired per second. but it is not automatic, and so unlike the other crossbows, you will have to actually manually fire each round. But if you're getting in a pinch and you are trying to provide sniper fire downrange and they start running up to you, you can actually very quickly fight your way out using this crossbow. Another thing that I'm excited to add here is that these crossbows also have the ability to have penetration through a single object. So if you are trying to clear out large areas or even interiors during the day, this thing is going to be great for taking out those interiors, and that is true of the automatic as well. So hopefully you guys will have a lot more fun once you get to those higher levels, actually clearing out those interior areas, and I'm looking forward to your guys' feedback on that. So let's one more time head over to the Type B, which is by far my favorite, and see how that does inside of here. And again, I apologize for that animation. Let's see. But hopefully this will not make the game too easy as far as the different missions that you would need to fight, where you can just now easily plow through the enemies. The idea is that this is a much more rare find, and so hopefully if you're finding this inside the world, you can actually go enjoy the game a little bit more with this new edition. Additionally, some other changes that have been made with 1.3b. So I have tried to reduce the amount of armor that you'll find, especially that lower tier armor. So a lot of people have reported finding additional pouches and a lot of other things inside the world. I am not looking to tear out content from the mod. I'm looking to refine that content so it actually works well for the average player. So if you guys have feedback, you have comments, please know that I would prefer to actually refine the content inside the game to actually make different optionals for the amount of spawn of loot. Like, for example, make an optional where there's more custom loot or less custom loot, rather than taking the time to support having to tear out large chunks of the code. That's going to be a lot harder to support overall in the long run, and I would prefer to baby step our way through that. So additionally, one of the things I've added, so as time has progressed, I did make, I think one of the biggest mistakes that I have made with the mod so far is going through and actually setting up the changes to the Paraglider. So I had originally envisioned having that set up to where that became less of an option as you played the game, so that you would actually go explore the city without using the Paraglider as an escape. Due to removing it as a standard, we now have this awkward position where some people's save games, now that I have removed that, some people's save games are messing up. So to say sorry about that and to fix that, if you go inside your stash, you should now find a legendary tier restore glider bundle, and inside that bundle, if this is required, if you want to use this, you can open this up and you can go and then use these potions to restore to the level that you were previously. So if you were tier 3, tier 1, tier 2, whatever works best, but this should restore your level back to what it was before. You move this over to your inventory, and then once you have it in your inventory, it's going to be a consumable. So just go to the one that you want, and you're just going to select that as you would a med kit or an inhaler, shake it up, take it, and your level should be restored. Please let me know if this doesn't work. From my early testing, it appears to work, but I do not have a save game where I can't get access to the Paraglider. Some people are reporting that if you go and you press Z, it's just not working. I don't have that glitch, so if you can send me a save game or inform me if that worked or not, please let me know, but hopefully this should fix things. In addition, there was a pretty big update that came with the hotfix today that I didn't really add summary notes for just yet, because there's a lot of testing and work that needs to go into it, but it's something that I'm excited to see. It actually did work a second ago. I did actually spot something. So I found a way to access a lot of the options and loot and objects inside the world, and actually try to bring those a little bit more to life. So there's a lot of baked objects in the world that are just kind of trash or kind of purposeless as you're moving throughout the world, and then there's certain containers Well, I wanted to try to upgrade this a little bit to make it a more interesting world. And so, what you will get now is that as you're traveling throughout the world, you should now see more containers start to show up. So, there should be more searchable objects as you're traveling through the world, and those will contain custom loot. So, each one has custom loot set up to where you should get realistically based loot. This is still being balanced, and I'm still not sure what is working, what's not working, as it appears that some things are pretty well baked into the map and aren't able to be accessed, while some things like the trash that just showed up in that one location, I actually didn't realize that was there until a second ago and I looked down. So please let me know how that goes as you're going through the world. And I will mention that going back to the main menu, it does show that we are still in an event. So if it shows on the version, if it shows a P at the end, that usually means that there's an event going on, which means the code is modified. So certain parts of the mod itself may not work as expected. To fix this problem, I'm going to show you right now how to go and fix it. Basically, all you need to do is go and launch Steam offline. So I'm going to move my my little image here so you can see in the bottom right corner, there's still a P at the end of that version. Because of that, I'm not sure why they currently have that, but it potentially means that we're not out of the woods yet as far as this custom code. So also in addition, I've upgraded the main menu, so you should now have instead of that gray box, you should have a good summary here. And then this has also been upgraded to support various languages. So if you have a different language pack that you're using in the game, it should translate to that language. I am continuing to grow that solution, so please come join the Discord community and reach out to me if the wording is not correct, because I do want to understand that better and know what's causing that problem so I can continue to improve it. If nobody informs me that that's not the appropriate translation, I can't improve it, I can't make it better. Big shout out to everybody on the Discord community who's already contributed to the work. Thank you so much for your help with the translations. That's a big one for me. Thank you guys so much. So if we go over here to Steam and we select our Steam, our main button here, you can see one of the first options is go offline. If you press that and say enter offline mode, you can see here that we are now offline and you can go ahead and launch the game. I'll go ahead and show you a trick that a couple people have informed me that this does work for co-op. So if it works, that's great. I have no way of currently testing that out without grabbing somebody and just testing. So grab a friend, test that out, let me know if that works. Hopefully it does, but here's the basic process. So basically, you're going to start the game to where it's going to detect that you're not online, so it's not going to grab that information from the server and start the event. But once we actually load into our save game, once we head into our save game, we should be able to now go online with Steam. And according to some people, this has actually worked out well to where now that we're inside the game, we can now detect our friends playing online and we can actually join their session. So this may work, this may not work, but hopefully, again, let me know if it does. Hopefully this works for you guys, but this is a way to get around the event that's going on currently for the main game, and that way you can enjoy the full capabilities of the mod. So from here, we should be able to go to options, online, say public, online menu, and you can see that we're back online. And based on the testing I've done previously, this should now not have the event content loaded into the game. We should be playing an offline version, but online. So kind of a fun way to get that set up. So in addition, some of the additional changes that I've made, I've also increased the amount and the likelihood of finding the wolf faction. So the wolf faction are Rise's men. Let me go ahead and while we're talking here, we'll go ahead and spawn them into the world. It never hurts to show you guys what we've got here. Let's see, it's going to be the spawn test bundle. Apologize, I'm actually ending up with quite a few things these days. We have quite a few different factions now inside the world. And then we've got the wolves. So we have the wolves and the world burners that are now inside the world. And I've increased the amount and likelihood that you'll run into them inside the world. So hopefully that'll be something that you run into more often. And they'll have, the world burners will have more flamethrowers. So if you need more flamethrower gear, and the wolves will have a potential companion drop. So as you fight the wolves, you could potentially find a companion drop, which will allow you to summon a wolf to fight for you. In addition to that, while I'm on that subject, I've also increased the awareness for the companions. So the companions are now more likely to detect enemies. And so those guys should do a better job of detecting those enemies inside the world and fighting those off. So let me know how that goes, but they should be a better solution for that. And so you can see here, I don't think I've ever done the video with the ultimate version on, but one of the things that I've updated before is that with the ultimate versions of the zombies, they do have the ability to swarm and take down human AI until they kill them. And so you can see here that they've pretty much gotten him off his feet, and they'll continue to take him out. And so it makes it a lot more challenging for humans inside the world, but that's one of the reasons that I wanted to get the PK shield up and running, along with some of the other things I've been doing for the humans, is that they have a much harder time staying alive now inside the world that is ultimate. And so hopefully you guys will see some interesting interactions inside the world here, but let's give these guys some more help here. Let's see, they're only spawning in a few at a time. It's just where there's some blocker or something happening right here on the ground where they're spawning. That happened the other day, and it's I never know whether that's because of limited amounts of spawns available in the space or what's happening there. I'm still researching how to get the flamethrowers working with these guys, and so more coming soon on them using flamethrowers. But that is what I'm trying to get, and it is taking a little bit of time to get there, but hopefully here soon we'll have that figured out. Once a world burner has spotted you, you might want to back up because they are throwing the fuel bombs, and those suckers do a lot of damage in the area, which they are immune to. So that is one of the reasons that I wanted to get out this crossbow update as well, is that these crossbows are kind of meant to help take out these new unique types of enemies. And before I release this to the public, I think what I'm going to do is probably go on here and lower or increase the amount of ammo capacity once again on this crossbow. It'll probably, the problem with that is it's going to eat up all your bolts. So if you didn't want to use only this, if you wanted to use another crossbow, you're less likely to be able to, I think it's going to take the bolts from your inventory, but I'm not sure. I'll look into that a little bit more, but hopefully that'll make it easier so that you don't have this glitched animation. I do realize how painful it is to see that. In addition, I will also mention that as you can see with this new custom crossbow, that you currently see the clipping where you can see through the object. That's because this is a custom model that has not been balanced in the world, so they have to go and add very specific materials for each one of these things. So the solution to this is actually using my new custom armor. So if you have my custom armor available, if you have gloves specifically, you can actually use those gloves, and it will now work better with the crossbows. So I guess kind of an added bonus for the new armors, but it is a little bit annoying. I am aware of that issue. I'm frustrated by that issue. I currently just don't have a good way of fixing it at this time because it's something that they're doing with the back-end code that I don't have access to. So I do apologize that this is a thing, but currently it's kind of an ongoing research project here. So you can see here that, again, sorry for the animation, but you can see here that now the clipping is gone and the crossbow is working properly. Again, not meaning to make more janky things inside the game. If there's a big immersion breaker for you guys, let me know. I'll switch the crossbow model over to the other model, and we can just continue with the other model. Not trying to break anyone's immersion. I just thought it would be fun to get in a new weapon that was not currently in the game. Additionally, we then have the Rise's Men. So you can see here, this is the wolf faction, and if we take these guys out, we will potentially get a tamed wolf, which is the companion. Which is the companion form of the wolf faction. Oof. Wrong way. Hang on, let's see here. Oops, looks like the plague bearers showed up. And we still got a few world burners out here, I see. So close. Alright, let's go loot these guys before all their loot disappears here. But we should have some crossbows, some firebones. There's a summon a loyal wolf. Alright, got it before dying here. Let's see if we can find another. It's PK dog tags. Should be showing up in the world a little bit more here. There's another loyal wolf. And that's probably because we have so many that got summoned here. Normally you'll have a lot less of the wolf faction in the area, but let's test this out and actually get a loyal wolf to fight for us here. And as I mentioned, this will be a good test. I did increase the code to make the code more likely for our companions to be able to detect enemies. Thank you guys for your feedback and continuing to update that. It's just this area. I swear, some areas. So a couple of people have reported this as well. Some areas around bases also have problems with these spawns. So that's interesting. I'm gonna have to double check this code as well before we release. But I do apologize if that's actually not working. Very interesting. Well, that was gonna cap off my video here, but it looks like that one thing is not working right now. I'm going to go and add and fix those things so I can get this update out. Thank you guys so much for watching. There is a changelog that's coming with this, as always. Several other improvements have been added to the game. I look forward to your guys' feedback. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more updates here coming soon. And if you're a Dying Light 1 fan, stay tuned for that as well. That overhaul should be coming out here very shortly. All right, thanks, guys. Look forward to talking to you guys next time, and look forward to your comments. Happy gaming.